She was 12 years old. He was 20. Of course, according to him, age was but a number. And besides, she was mature for her age. She was special. He was 8 years older, a college dropout, unemployed and living in a Toronto basement by the means of his generous parents. His sexual resume? Extensive. She was a child, still in elementary school, hadn't even been kissed. The future was bright and limitless. It made her feel sick. It was wrong. He knew it too, of course, and he knew how to play her. He was patient and careful, like a chef slowly heating a pot to boil, the frog within completely unaware. It started off as friendly messages online. He sent words of encouragement and praise. This drifted into flirtatious banter, and then finally, ignorable lust. Perhaps she was lonely. Her family never spoke of passion or love, while this man held her on a pedestal and treated her like a goddess. He told her, "No one will ever love you as much as I do." And she believed him. No one had ever worshipped her before. She had never been sought after or chased. She had never been sexually desired. He wanted to meet. Where? In the woods, in a hotel, the back of a parking lot, underneath the stairs, at his place. He wanted to be her first. He wanted to be her only. He even claimed he wanted to be her always. And she fell for it all. The words, the presence, the way he kissed her forehead, and moaned her name in pleasure like she was doing something no woman his age could. No one will ever love you as much as I do. And she believed him, because it was all she knew. She began to become ill with the lies. No one knew, no one could know, or they'd tear them apart. For 5 long years she kept everything hidden, and it drove her to insanity. As she grew up with him, she began to question why something she was told was right made her feel so wrong. Eventually, she only kept the relationship a secret on principle alone. There was no need when she was finally of legal age. The entire situation repulsed her. Maybe it was just the 21-year-old man who would slip his hand under a 13-year-old's skirt while no one was looking. The 22-year-old who would sleep next to a 14-year-old at parties and go down on her while she was unconscious. A 23-year-old man who would claim he would kill himself if the 15-year-old did not love him back. The 24-year-old man who would take pictures of the 16-year-old against her will. The 25-year-old man who subjected a 17-year-old to a sexually transmitted bacterial infection. And finally, the 26-year-old who had learned that actions have a way of coming back to haunt you. She cheated. She fell in love with a boy her own age, in high school. It all happened so naturally. He made her feel safe and at peace, like she could breathe. She told the 26-year-old man. He punched a hole in a wall, called her a slut, and she took it, feeling she deserved it. And yet he still wanted to be with her, even though she loved another. Months later, an old friend would visit, bringing news that would change the girl, the boy, and the man's lives forever. The 26-year-old man at age 25 had slept with another woman, and it wasn't the first time. When the girl confronted him, he denied it, only to call that night admitting to the adultery. He took her childhood, her innocence, her pride, her love, her trust, and her sanity. "No one will ever love you as much as I do," he said in a whimper. And I told him he was wrong.